Right, 3 drills that you can do with the driver to guarantee a better performance the very next time you play. I know these will work because they've worked for so many of my students and they're really, really simple to do as well. So the first one is going to get you moving your pressure into that trail leg sooner in the backswing. Why is that important? That's what great players do. When we look at the amateur game, you might be in that category, they often don't do it well enough. Very often amateurs will move pressure or move weight late into the backswing. Great golfers move it early, almost before the club has even moved. So here's how you're going to do it. I love this because it's so simple, and whilst I'm calling it a drill, sometimes people hit it better this way and I say, just go play that way. It's not a drill if you play better that way, it's just your golf swing. So you're going to take your normal address to the golf ball, and you're very simply going to take your trail leg and just bring it much closer to your lead leg. It doesn't necessarily have to be touching, but just much closer. Then you're going to set the club some 6 inches to a foot in front of the ball, and you're going to start your golf swing with this, the leg. You're not going to start with the club head. So I'm going to start by lifting, planting, and when I planted, I can now move the club head. What that's going to teach you is that the golf swing starts from the ground up. We know this because we can measure it. Many golf swings of amateurs, the golf swing starts with the club being snatched away, the body's not engaged, it's just a knock-on of a sequence of events from there which is really difficult to recover from. Great players will start with the lower body. So here's what it looks like. I'm not going to hit a shot yet, but we just go here, club here, and we step, then swing. And I guarantee you, that's going to be quite a different feel. It's going to feel very much like you're putting pressure or you're stamping on that trail side. Great examples of this. Rory McIlroy is a great example. You see that little bump he has to start with. It's not just cosmetic, it has got a function, and that's what we're teaching you in this video. So there's no reason why you can't hit balls that way. I'd go set up, club goes in front, foot goes here, we start with the foot, we move the club, and I've turned that over a little bit, but it's probably pretty good. It's up the left-hand side. So that little exercise is going to get you shifting your pressure much, much sooner. That is going to give you more power. Now the next one is for those of you who battle a slice. That fade that drifts away from you, or that chronic slice that just means you look for golf balls in the right rough. This one, I've done this before. I make no apologies for bringing this into this video because it is brilliant. It's one of those drills that just works every time. And again, like the first one, you can do it on the golf course. This is all about your swing circle that you kind of generate when you swing a golf club, and angling it in such a way that it gives you straighter shots with more distance. If you cut across the golf ball from out to in, so many of you will be doing that, there's a very good chance that you will also be hitting down on the golf ball, and that robs you of distance. This little exercise causes you to hit more up on the ball, and it causes your path to be more out to the right. What does that give you? Higher draws that go further. So, normal setup. And then from there, using your chest, you're going to rotate your chest away from the target and drag the golf club along the ground. So now, what am I doing? I'm starting with the club some foot behind the golf ball. My shoulders are probably angled a little bit more out to the right of my target, and potentially I've even got my head a little bit more behind the golf ball. Now, this is called the Mo Norman drill. If any of you know who Mo Norman is, phenomenal talent. He used to start in this way. If you don't know who Mo Norman is, I'd suggest you look at him. Fantastic, phenomenal character, well worth looking into his story. But he used to start this way. John Rahm also uses this little trick when he wants to hit a draw. That's not his natural shape. He's a left to right player, so when he has to hit a draw, he kind of reverts to this because it gives him those things that we've spoken about, the higher launch angle, the less spin, the more right to left tendency. So when you start from here, what it's basically doing is moving your swing circle more back and right. When we move it more back and right, we get those things that we just mentioned. We get the path going right, and we get the attack angle more up. The final point of this video is club face control, which when done with this one, really unlocks some better drives. This one is really simple because it doesn't take any practice. You can just go through your normal setup, drag here, chest is doing all that, and then from there I can make my normal golf swing. Started much higher, started way more up the right, and a lot more right to left shape. Now the reason that happened for me is because I'm a right to left player anyway. So when I do that drill, it exaggerates that movement. But great for me if I need to hit like a big, powerful draw around a dog leg or on a par 5. And the last one. This is all about club face control. What is the most common club face position at impact in the amateur game? Open. Open gives you slices, it gives you more height, it gives you more spin, and it basically gives you more missed fairways. We don't want that. I'm going to teach you how you can close the club face much simpler. Let's get rid of the club to begin with. Get yourself addressed around a golf ball, and you're going to take your left hand and you're going to move it out to the side of the body, but you're going to turn your palm out so it's facing you, the camera. Okay, now I'm going to put my right hand down. Now I want you to imagine that this is your golf club here, palm open. And you're going to swing through, but you're going to try and basically clap hands. So what have I got to do in order to do that? Well, look where my palm faces, the target. This one clearly doesn't. I have basically got to rotate my forearm so it can clap hands with my left hand. So it's going to look like this. We go back and this. Okay, now that's me taking my forearm and rotating it during the backswing, which we all have to do, but then actually consciously rotating it on the through swing. So where is my palm facing my left? Where are my palms facing each other? So what is really, really common is to see on the way through something like this. Now look where those palms are. One is down, one is up. Look what it's done to my elbows. Not a very good position. And that is going to put the face open. I'm sure you've seen that. You might have seen it in your own golf swing. So we don't want to be here with the palm under. We want to be here with the palm over. And once I do that little exercise, which is really, really simple, and like you could do this on the tee when your playing partners are teeing off, while you're waiting for them. What it's going to do is it's going to teach you how to rotate that forearm. And when you rotate that forearm, what are you doing? You're effectively closing the face. So when we add that with that second exercise, the Mo Norman drill, which basically pushes your path out to the right, you can completely change your ball flight. And it's really, really simple. So when I've done a couple of those, I could always bring the club in and I could just put the club and start to do the same thing. Feel like my palm matches, feel like my palm matches. And what that's doing is it's going to give me the ideas and the feelings of rotating the face a little bit more aggressively through the golf ball, which so many golfers need, because the face being open is probably the most common pattern at impact, and it obviously causes you to miss it out to the right. So once I have done that a couple of times, I can go ahead and hit a shot with those kind of feelings of almost trying to visualize where that left hand is and putting the right hand into it. Oh, not having that one back.